All of you turn on your video feeds. Yes, you too, Rennie. Let's begin. Okay. Yeah. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes. Anybody?
अच्छा मिल गया खाने क्लास के पहले
Can someone recollect what is it that we saw yesterday's lesson? Rennie gave a beautiful summary as well about nature's beautiful qualities. Yes. Anybody? Can you recollect something?
Yes, the energy that flows through humans flows through nature as well, and it's the same everywhere.
Right. So we can tap that, isn't it? We can tap that. It can be done anywhere, isn't it? So what is it that we have to do to tap that energy? Any guesses? To tap that energy of the nature. Yes, Dhanur or Vishwa. I think the screen was frozen. Can you hear me? No? Can you hear me? Yes. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
All right, fine. Let's then continue. Yesterday we saw three important points. Number one, that there is unlimited energy inside of us. Number two, this we can be tapped. And three, always be in the company of nature. And in the company of nature, try to utilize that energy. Let's begin chapter 8, the key to success. Today's chapter is in a different place. It is in a gymnasium. The students were guided by the teacher into the city's best gymnasium, where various athletes were busy training in their specialized fields. The teacher instructed the students to observe the sports personnel from afar without causing any disturbance in their training routine and then started the lesson. Yes, Vishwa and Dhanur, can you turn on the video feed? Have you been to a gymnasium anytime? Vishwa, Dhanur, do you have an idea what is there? What must be there going on?
What, sir? I cannot understand.
Have you been to a gymnasium anytime?
No, sir.
Have you heard of a gymnasium?
Mhm.
Gym?
Yeah.
So have you been to a gym?
What, sir?
Have you been inside of a gym? Have you gone inside a gym?
Yes, sir.
What do you see there? What did you see?
They will exercise there.
They do exercises. No, what type of exercises?
Weightlifting.
Okay, that is one. Weightlifting.
Uh,
Another.
Treadmill walking.
Treadmill walking. Some cardio exercises are done. Then there are what we call isometric exercises. Then sometimes, there is gymnastics also in big gyms. There are areas, specially designed areas for those who are learning gymnastics and practicing, because that also is important, isn't it? Flexibility also must improve. So these are all different things that the teacher has taken. So let's continue. The teacher says, friends, as you have decided to be champions in your respective fields, I thought I should bring you to this international gymnasium. Student immediately asked a question. He asked, Sir, why this gym? Any particular reason? The teacher says, See, this is the field where champions exert a lot. Where champions exert a lot? I think Rini is back. I think her internet issue got restored. You can hear me, right, Rini?
Yes, sir, I can.
Great. So we are now in a gym today. The teacher has taken all the students to a gym and asked the students what to have a look around without disturbing the people who are doing the exercises. That time a student asks a question, why? Why this gym? And that is where we see the teacher replying. He says, see, this is the field where champions exert a lot in improving their physical fitness. As such, basic requirements of concentration, consecration, and devotion have to be fulfilled in any and all faculties. We have discussed earlier, but I thought you must see athletes performing in front of you. Has anybody seen any athlete perform right in front of you? From nearby? Any performance of an athlete? No. At least on TV? What did you see? What do you see in that performance? Any performance you would like to share?
So I don't know if it called it like an athlete's performance, but I was just watching basically
Yeah.
Formula One where there's race cars and they're just zooming past each other.
Ha ha ha. So
Yeah.
there also, what do you see? Maybe you don't see too much movement in the physical for the people, isn't it?
No, but
But
I have tried to learn as much as I can from a Formula One. And then
uh,
inside the cars, there is a lot going on. And because
yes,
the car, since it goes at very high speeds, every
yeah,
time you take a very sharp corner, there's a lot of force put on your neck, which you have to like use to strengthen it
yes,
a lot. And then
yeah.
like even the brakes to completely use it, it's like 40, you have to push 40 kilograms with 1 foot. So it's
Mm,
basically very tiring.
tiring. And heat inside is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yes, it is around 50 degrees inside.
And you have to wait or wear all those clothes, and then on top of that, there
Yeah, which
it
is
becomes
why the drivers lose at least 2 or 3 kgs after every race.
isn't it?
Body weight.
So they have to take care of hydration, no? They have to be hydrated well. So these are all, and concentration, what about it?
Oh yes,
Concentration
it
is
is
required.
very important for them to concentrate
Yeah.
because even the smallest mistake could like make them
Mhm.
behind others by even zero like hundredth of a second, which is quite a lot for them.
Yes, 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 yes. So this concentration is also a very, very important aspect. So if you look at any athlete, concentration is required. Devotion is also required. Devotion for what? Devotion for the sport, isn't it? For the discipline. You have to work continuously. And consecration also, meaning trying to make that a part of their life. Recently, anybody has heard of a young grandmaster who became number one in the world? Yes? Anybody?
Yes, sir. So is it the one in the world or only the person from India?
Yeah?
Sir,
He
is it
beat,
sorry, sir, are you referring to the person who became a grandmaster in the world or in India?
yeah, in the world, in the world. He beat number one.
Oh,
Just,
okay. I
no, yeah, I
think
mean, who is
you're
number one
right.
in India?
For the India, the person's at the rank 3 for the youngest. I kind of
Okay.
forgot their names, so I'm sorry.
Okay. So 18 to at 18 years old, I think this is a new, I think it happened yesterday.
Mukesh.
Just, yeah, he
Oh,
beat, yeah, he beat Ding and he has now become number one. So if you look at him, he also closes his eyes for a lot of time, just like how we are closing our eyes before the session, no? Maybe a little bit more intense. But concentration is required because you have to control your mind. So this is something. All these sports teach us a discipline which will help us control our mind and our body also. This is very important to have control over the physical and also mental. And also emotions also, isn't it? While playing, lots of emotions come inside of us. We are worried what's going to happen. But if your emotions are strong, then You're going to not be carried away. So let's continue. Student immediately asks a question because the teacher has shown them the athletes while they are performing and has told three important points. Student says, Sir, yes, sir, but what are these three requirements? You mentioned concentration, consecration, and devotion. The teacher says, See, unless you concentrate on action, you can't even start progressing in any field. The athletes are performing physical acts that require good balance. I'll just share the screen one moment. So you can see the illustration. Yes. Can you see the illustration? Yeah. Somebody, can you describe what you see in the illustration?
There are children playing on the playground doing different sports.
Yeah, yeah. Can you name them? Any of them?
I think the person with the weightlift is like just doing weightlifting. I kind
Okay,
of
there's
forgot what.
powerlifting that is being done. Then there's double bar. And you see, different gymnastic exercises are also being done. And look at the line, what is there below it? Anybody?
A balanced physical, mental, and emotional being is essential.
Yeah. So if you see, if you are doing these exercises and then your mind is not balanced, you will also lose your balance on the physical. So these exercises all teach us how we have to be balanced, sharp, quiet. A surgeon who is doing operation, does he need a balance or he doesn't need a balance of mind?
He needs it.
Very much. What about mental? Yes, he has to detach from everything. What about physical? Sometimes they themselves have difficulties. Many surgeons have, but they keep that aside, isn't it? Doctors, have you heard of doctor? No, no, I will not do my work today. I'm feeling a little tired. Nobody says that. Duty is duty, isn't it? So they have to keep their troubles or strains of the mind away. Physical also has to be very. What about emotions? Are emotions allowed or emotions are welcome?
Emotions are welcome in certain situations. For example, uh, well, you can say like it's a family matter, and
Right.
then there's like a lot of commotion going on. Then you
Mhm.
have, for example, even like during like a funeral or something, your emotions
You
come
need,
into play.
yeah, but you have to keep them balanced, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. Otherwise, too much will hinder your decision
Otherwise, it
making.
will create a lot of commotion. Absolutely. So let's continue. So here, so the teacher says, yes, see, unless you concentrate on action, you can't even start progressing in any field. These athletes are performing physical acts that require good balance. A single mistake of not concentrating on their action will be disastrous for them. They might get hurt and have to take a long rest and waste the time of training and might ultimately lose the chance of getting perfection and will fall behind. This is also important, isn't it? For athletes, you have to be alert. Our coach would always say, do good warm up before starting your match. Even if your opponent is not a top seeded player, even if you know that the opponent is not a very powerful opponent, sometimes what would happen? You'd say, this person, he doesn't know so well. I'm going to easily win. I have more skill. But what happens then if you don't warm up? Your body will be stiff. And in stiffness, you may get injuries. I know of a very good friend who's very close. She developed a ligament injury. So difficult, isn't it? Then she had to walk on crutches, and for nearly 8 months, she had to work so hard. And the doctor only told you'll not be able to walk again. She's like, no, I refuse to believe that. I'll not be able to run again. I want to play again. She worked hard and did it right. She may became strong again, went for the competitive sports. But you see, such a big journey, no? Instead, if you are very alert and very conscious, can you get injured? No. So that is something you should be ready. Let's go on. So the first one is what? Concentration. Where is concentration required? Every single place. While you're walking on the road, yes, you have to be concentrating. No, I'm not doing any work right now. If you are not concentrating, suddenly another vehicle may come and you may not be alert. So alert is being, yes, it is important. But when question comes in mind, can you be alert at all times? Yeah?
I don't think so.
Well, champions are alert at all times. You've seen warriors also, even in their sleep, they're ready. Immediately they hear the slightest sound. They have what we call alert sleep. They're able to quickly react. Now, we can relax being alert also. That is also something we can try. But concentration is always important, whether you're studying, whether you're playing, even whether you're talking or what are you speaking, you should be aware or not. Otherwise, many people say, I didn't mean to speak this, I don't know how I spoke. Means you have a control over your mouth or not, or somebody else has a control. We only have that control, isn't it? So, number one is concentration. The second is consecration. If any athlete has any sort of fear while performing the task or during training, he cannot go ahead. He must practice consecration, having a sort of complete faith in his trainer, his guidance, and his help. If he has that attitude, he can perform unexpectedly well in the task and receive the master's help and guidance at all times. This is the basic requirement while doing his tasks. So, this is point number two. Can someone tell me what you understood from consecration? Consecration of your actions? Anybody? What's a little tough? Yes? Rini, did you get it? This point on consecration? Yes? Dhanur and Vishwa, today both of you are very active, continuously moving different angles of camera.
Sir, it is not visible.
Okay, it was not visible to both of you. But did you understand the point of consecration? If yes, you can say yes, or if no, you can say no. No problem. Did
Yes,
you
sir.
understand it?
Yes, sir.
If, now, if you say yes, I'll ask, what did you understand? What is consecration? Can you try to tell me in your own words? What do you think? What is consecration? We saw one word, isn't it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Concentration.
Okay. Now, who is trying? Dhanur is trying, is it? All right, Dhanur. Yeah, what were you saying? Yeah?
Sir, what you told he is asking, sir.
Oh, he's asking me what I said. I said, do you know the meaning of consecration? We were just looking at it right now.
Concentration or concentration?
Okay, tell what is concentration.
Concentration.
Yeah, concentration.
Concentration, we are listening to someone.
Concentration is listening to someone. But when nobody is there and you are doing work alone, if you are drawing, can you do concentration? Can you do concentration while drawing?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, very good because you're alert, no? You're
Yes, sir.
looking at, not thinking of what was for breakfast or what is for lunch, who is going to play with me, all that. While you are doing the work, thinking about that work. That is concentration. But there's a second part called consecration. Rini, would you like to try to guess what consecration is? Yeah?
We are focusing.
Yeah, correct. You're focusing. That's a good thing. Yes. Yes, Rini, would you try to guess what consecration is?
Is it like completely dedicating your time into doing that one task?
Yes, completely dedicating your time. And sometimes, if you have a great teacher, you can just consecrate yourself to the teacher only. Why? Because you don't have doubts. You've understood this is the best teacher you can have. The teacher knows, no? Teacher has got the experience. So all you have to do is just follow. Arjuna got from whom? Dronacharya, isn't it? Everything. What did Arjuna do? As a warrior, as an archer, he wanted to learn. Same way in the story of in the battlefield also, he asked for Krishna for direction and he got it. So this is important. Finding a teacher and consecrating or listening or dedicating is the best word you have said. Dedicating everything. Everything means not in bits and pieces. You are now deciding, like you take any mission you have taken up, Rini, any short-term goal.
Right
Any.
now, it's to like just get good marks in my upcoming
Ah,
exams.
so getting good marks in your exam, that is also a goal. So how do you consecrate for that? Do you keep going on every time your friends call you out for playing?
No,
No,
I
isn't it?
mean, yes, but no.
Sometimes you have to say no also. Okay, arey, no, I have exam right now. Let me focus. Otherwise, it will happen like what happened to me, and I learned it too late in college. I did not say no to my friend at the wrong time before the exam, previous day, and then I had trouble. So, consecration is dedicating completely for your mission. Each of us must have a mission. Like Rini has said, her mission is to do well in the exams. What about both of you, Dhanur and Vishwa? Dhanur, what is your mission? Vishwa, what is your mission right now?
Um, what wish, sir?
What is your mission? What do you want to do right now? Like Rini said, no, her mission is to do well in her exams. Like
Yes,
that.
sir.
What is your mission?
Um, I want to. Uh, what's that? I want to win in competitions.
Which competition?
Like in drawing.
So are you practicing for that? Are you consecrating, taking efforts for it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. What about you, Dhanur? All right, I think you're thinking about it. You can put your message in the group. Let us continue now. Okay. So, so the
Then
second part, yeah, tell me, what is it?
me also that thing only.
You also want to become the best artist and you want to do well in the competitions. All right, so you have to practice well. Let's
Yes.
continue. The third is devotion, which stands above these two qualities. You must have complete devotion and an unshakable faith in what you are doing. Devote time, energy, and all interests for your goal. If you follow these principles, you can be sure that you are meant to be a champion in your field. You won't believe, just yesterday I heard from a very senior quality control engineer from Australia. He's reading the same book. And he says, every time I'm reading this book, I'm learning something new for working in his field. He's interacting with so many seniors. He is himself a father of a 16-year-old child. 16, or I think not 16, he's I think 12-year-old or 14-year-old child. But he is finding so many important principles. These are permanently, applicable for us in our lives. So this principle of devotion, this is something which is very important. We should devote time, we should devote energy and interest for our goal. If we follow these principles, you can be sure that you are meant to be champions in the field. Immediately, a student asks a question. He says, Sir, can you explain this more clearly for us? The teacher says, Okay, yes. See, if you do not concentrate in studies, you will not remember anything while giving your examination. Isn't it true? If you are studying and your mind is elsewhere, thinking about something, thinking about a movie, thinking about some game, or while you're doing studies, sometimes children have that. They keep the book like this. Inside of the book, there is another comic or some other story book. How many of you have done that? I too have done it, but it's not a necessary thing. But what happens because of that? You don't end up studying with good concentration. Best is read while you are reading. Focus on your studies when you are doing that. The time for enjoying also will come. So that is something. You will not remember. Best part is actually if you start enjoying your studies, no? That is one thing.
Sir,
Yeah,
doesn't that
Rini, what,
depend on the subject?
that's what I'm telling you. You start enjoying the subject. You can start to love what you are learning.
But sir, what if you used to like a subject, but then
What?
you used to like a subject, but then as the years progressed, it just got worse, and you're like, nah, I ain't doing this.
Sorry? You used to like a subject, but after some years it got
No, like I
boring.
couldn't do it.
You could do it or you couldn't do
I
it?
couldn't.
Couldn't. I'm
So
telling you, I didn't like chemistry. Okay. But I finished my mechanical engineering. Somehow we had organic chemistry, we had engineering chemistry. All this came in my mechanical engineering also. I was thinking going to be free from that subject after my boards. But you will not believe what happened in life. 8, 9 years later, actually, I joined my teacher. We started manufacturing Ayurvedic medicines. Then one of the requirement was for me to be a good manufacturing expert. Plus, I had to also get chemist qualification. How is that going to happen without a chemistry degree? So, after 10 years of completing engineering, I had to study the subject I disliked the most. That was chemistry only. I had to do a BSc then afterwards. But you know what happened? When I started learning it, when I started, because I had no option, no? Sometimes you're in a corner. You don't have any, you're forced to do something without, not on your free will. But the only way I could manage was I started liking it. And then that turned out to be very useful because in our quality control aspects, we could develop new protocols. We had different testing, we had different aspects in our labs which we had to, do like different tests. And these principles are important, no? When you learn them. So it's a challenge, but it's not only doing what you like, no? In life, we can't only do what we like. Otherwise, 90% of the students will say, I don't want to go to school every day.
Well, I actually kind of enjoy going to school, but I was referring to physics. Like in sixth and seventh, I was pretty good at the conceptual physics. But
Yeah.
once eighth came in, everything was only numericals and I didn't know how to solve anything. So that's
Okay.
why I got very low in physics.
You went down in physics. Then what did you do after that? Did you work on it? You are
I mean,
now
I
in eighth?
tried to, but now every time the teacher says something, it flies over my head.
So what will you do is you take some time out for physics, extra time out for physics.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
really telling you, it is very, very important. I did not do well in maths. The reason I didn't do well in maths was because I had a mischievous nature, so I used to play pranks, and that one student on whom I played a prank, who turned out to be the tuition student of that teacher. And that teacher got so wild at me that every day he would come into the class, get up, get out, get up, get out. This kept happening so often that I started developing an aversion for the subject only. Because I would remember the teacher, remember the scolding, and go out of the class. Only that was coming in every time I would see problems. So then in after the annuals, what I did was I went to a CBSE board teacher who was not in my board, but I said, I want to learn, let me go and learn this subject. And you will not believe, I started seeing that numbers also there's a joy in the numbers. Now, I don't know if somebody will say, what is this? But if you see deeper, you will find that. And after that, I didn't have trouble. Though that teacher remembered me forever. I remember he came to 12th class and also he talked about all my antics, what cartoons I would draw in the exam paper and all of that. So that was a different thing. But at least my fear or my irritation toward a subject that disappeared. So it's all right. You can now we have access, right, to education in so many ways. We can learn online also, like you are learning on different platforms. Freely you can learn and grow. So it's okay because each of these, what we are learning sometimes feels dry. But you see, I have got chance to meet statistics seems like a boring subject, isn't it? But I've met one professor who is now one of the top scientists in the world, top 2% scientists in the world. He is using statistics and mathematics for doing remarkable things for artificial intelligence. Another is able to see sacred geometry and all. Divine geometry, and all of these are interesting fields. So it's like an ocean. Sometimes we don't like certain things, but we should try to find Because it's not only about doing what you like. Because if you do what you like, you'll enjoy it. But when you start learning to like some things which you don't prefer so much, also, you will get experience. You will learn. Otherwise, you'll end up closing one side of the mind, no? Oh, don't talk about this. This is not my subject. Can you say that in life? This is not my subject to any subject? No, isn't it? I had a doctor who's a surgeon, but who's excellent in maths also, though he never went into mathematics. How? Why? He said, I like it. I want to become best. So, like that. In ancient India, there were people who were excellent in, so many art forms. 64 art forms one person would know. There was dance also, there was cooking also, there was physical also, there was mental also. There was something called Ashtavadhani, Dashavadhani. These were all interesting things where a person is concentrating at 8 different subjects at one time. I mean, these are all capacities. We'll have to somewhere, whatever, stop is there, no? That stop has to be broken. Got me? Yeah? All right. You can just try. You can try. Maybe afterwards you can let me know. All right. Let's continue. So, see, if you don't concentrate in studies, you will not remember anything while giving your examination. As a gymnast, if you don't concentrate, you will fall down. Even in all other activities of the day, if you do not concentrate, you may face an accident. So, while talking, walking, eating, playing, or any other activity, I can name many. Concentration is a must. And now you also can understand that this is the first requirement to achieve goals of any sort. Even when your friends are talking, no, just casually. If you concentrate and lend your ear, no, you'll be a good friend. You can actually identify, oh, right, my friend is saying this, but what is he actually meaning? Maybe this person is having something else in mind. All of that you can understand. You're able to help people also better. Many times we feel what's the use, but I was very lucky in my interview which I went for one IELTS. I just saw something somewhere and I remembered this. Because I remembered it, it turned out to be very useful. It was just because of a random talk with somebody. I didn't expect it. So what happened is when you listen, you will receive, and you can always learn from everybody. Can we learn from anybody who is younger than us? Yes, isn't it? We can learn from nature, we can learn from people, we can learn from everybody if we are aware, if we are concentrating. Let's go on, let's continue. Student says, yes, sir, it is clear. Now, concentration part is clear. But what about consecration and devotion? The teacher says, oh, the second requirement, consecration, comes to help concentration. Consecration is offering yourself completely for the task you are performing. As Rennie said, no, dedicating yourself completely. It's like that. Unless you offer yourself completely to the master, he cannot help you. If you are concentrating as per your wish, but not offering your complete self to the master, how will he correctly guide you and bring out the hidden ability in you? So there is always a hidden ability inside of us. Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware. Unless you are, you know, consecrating or listening to the teacher with full concentration, that hidden ability will not come out. That is why consecration is important, as the trainer knows best how to guide you. The last and most important is devotion. See, even if the master is there, the rest of the time you have to think on the task that you should do with devotion. First, devote time. Then devote all your resources and proceed completely ahead in devotion. And this you have to inculcate by yourself only. Meaning you have to understand. Like now Vishwa and Dhanur have said they like painting, they like sketching. You should learn different styles of sketching. There are different ways. Some people sit for hours also with just one paper and pen and they keep working. Let my stroke become more better. Let the color become more beautiful. Let me understand what is the color pattern. What are the different techniques? Let me understand what is good for me or how my rhythm works. You have heard of this word rhythm? Anybody? What is this rhythm?
It's like a pattern of how things function.
Okay, pattern. In dance, you have rhythm. In music,
Yes, we do.
what about life?
Probably.
Life also has a rhythm, isn't it? In life also, as you go through life, life's journey, when you are very young, when you are alert, you can recognize that. You look at nature, look at the birds, movement of birds. There is a rhythm in the birds, isn't it? There was one scientist. He drew patterns for birds which are randomly moving also, no? In the park. He identified a mathematical equation governing all the birds which are just for us to a naked, to an eye, ordinary eye, it looks like what? It is just random movement. But he found out a beautiful pattern in the random movement inside a particular area. They follow this particular movement only. So this is what? This is the rhythm of life. So we have to identify the rhythm of our life and then tune into it. And that is something, if you want to do that, you need these three important things. One is concentration, second is consecration, and third is devotion. So that is important. A knowledgeable act done with devotion is the key. So a knowledgeable act done with devotion. This is the key. Meaning you understand what you want to do and do that with devotion. It is simple. And this is applicable in which field? It's a master key.
Isn't like it applicable in all fields?
Yes, absolutely. That's why it's a master key. A master key is the key that can open every lock. So something like that. A knowledgeable action done with devotion. So become aware and do it. That is how, champions are born. On the first day, nobody is champion, isn't it? But they understand, I want to do this. And then they devote it because they start learning, they start enjoying, and then they start going ahead. That is important. Watching your own growth by being aware and then performing full vigor, full enthusiasm, full devotion. That is the way. Nothing remarkable can be achieved without concentration, consecration, and devotion. I again repeat, a knowledgeable act done with devotion is the only key for success. Now, this is so important. Can we just think about this on how it can probably be applicable to us? Anybody? A knowledgeable act done with devotion. Just any example we can we think of? Or should I give an example? Yeah, Rini, very nice. Please tell
Um,
me.
I know, but India's space program, because ever since we saw all the other countries, like the big superpowers of US and
Hmm.
Russia, like going into space, it like inspired that spark for India also to try.
Yeah.
And they had this clear goal that they want to get into space and
Hmm.
understand more about the world. So
Yeah.
therefore, to that, even if no matter how hard it was, they like put all the devotion into the space program. And
Yes.
right now we have successfully become one of the major space countries.
Yes, we are. We are now. We are on the top actually. Most sought after by all over the world. When the entire world seeks looks to ISRO only, isn't it? Earlier people would say NASA is like this, ISRO is so no, not so good and all. We didn't have the funds, we didn't have the resources, we had so many constraints, so many challenges. And yet, you see, there are so many, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the legacy was taken forward by Dr. Abdul Kalam, and now how many of them are taking ahead that legacy? So many of them. So what I meant was more of like practical and personal in your life or my life. For example, like now this example, knowledgeable act done with devotion. So for me, first thing for me, poetry, no? Poetry was my favorite thing. Is still my favorite. Probably it will remain. So I did not know about it until I got connected with my teacher. Then I understood its value and how to do it. But once I understood it, then I decided I will focus on that only. And then I tried to express myself without getting carried away, without, just controlling even mind, controlling emotions. And that kind of helped me a lot. That helped me become better and better in that field. Still, sky is the limit, isn't it? In every field. But this was where I feel this knowledgeable act done with devotion actually helped me. I required a number of books on poetry I could write after that. And that became something I enjoyed doing it. So when you start enjoying it becomes a part of your life, no? Then you also start growing and that work also starts becoming deeper and deeper. So like that, Rini, can you think of something for you if you would like to start enjoying and go deeper? Any action? Your mission you said is to become a scientist. That's okay. I mean, sometimes people change their missions afterwards. That I'm not looking at it that it
So
has to
another
be.
thing is I wanted to be one ever since I was first asked about what I wanted to be.
What do you want to be? What did
No,
you say?
like from the beginning, ever since I was first asked what did I want to be when I grow up, it's always been a scientist.
It's always been a scientist, a
Yes.
scientist. And science is like an ocean, isn't it? A
Mm.
huge ocean, so many different directions. So now, as a scientist, what is the knowledgeable act? Oh, but you want to be a scientist, then physics, mathematics, these are all subjects which
So
are,
mathematics and chemistry I can manage. Physics is I'll have to try harder.
yeah, no, but you'll have to start trying to enjoy and start loving that subject.
So
That you
I
should
used to
start.
be like I really used to like physics a lot.
Ah,
No,
so
like
something
right
has
now, you
happened.
can
It's
give me
like,
anything related to concepts and I will understand it perfectly. Numericals, they
mhm.
can go somewhere else.
So no, you'll have to find out because numericals also are expressions of concepts. If you look at numericals also, they look a little bit different
No, so
compared
like
to,
our teacher, she always gives us very challenging questions. So like
okay.
sometimes I either try to break my head while solving it or like just sit there be like, nah, not now.
Uh, so somewhere, I think it's all a part on what we can say a flow, isn't it? And it's life's flow. Sometimes you have good friends. For a while they are good friends. Then for some time you fight. They're not your good friends for some time. Then again they become your good friends. So like that, physics is probably having a temporary cutty with you. You'll have to change that, isn't it? Yes. So let's I think continue. We'll go with the points to remember today. What are the points to remember in today's chapter? Number one, a balance in physical, mental, and emotional parts is essential for complete growth. So this is very, very important. Strong body, strong mind, and also controlled emotions. If you have a strong body, strong mind, but no control over emotions, what's going to happen? Anybody on the street will come and tell you something. You are a monkey. I am so strong. I'm not a monkey. How dare you say I'm a monkey? And what's going to happen? You are getting carried away. Sometimes, best of the best sports persons, in a moment of anger, they do something wrong. And then they end up regretting their entire life. Why did I not control my emotion? During when I was in college, there was a legendary footballer. What did he do in the middle of the football ground while the match was going on in the World Cup? He got angry because somebody said something. Why did somebody say something? They wanted to disturb him. But this person got emotional. He felt like somebody's prank. He fell prey. And what did he do? He did what they call a headbutt. He hit that person with the head. And that hero then fell from grace. He got a red card. He got sent out of the ground. And ultimately, his country lost. And all his life now, he'll regret that. Yes, Dhanur wants to say something. Yeah, please feel free to unmute.
Sir,
Yeah,
I'm feeling very sleepy.
you're feeling sleepy. Then you should sleep. We will complete the session. All right, there's no compulsion. What about your brother, Vishwa? You can
No, sir,
continue or you're able to continue?
we
Yes,
can continue.
we can continue. All right. All right. Then you can sleep comfortably on the bed. You don't have to sleep in the class or on the chair. It's good for the back. All right, let's continue. So we are looking at the points to remember. Number one point is what? physical, mental, and emotional parts are to be balanced for a proper growth. Number two, try to remain aware of your physical, mental, and emotional being. This is important. You see, three parts of our body only. One is the physical, isn't it? When we do a certain amount of exercise, then what happens? Your body tells you, isn't it? Now I'm tired. Or like how Dhanu is saying, today's body's physical is telling I'm now sleepy. That is the input, isn't it? From the physical. Like that, we get physical inputs also. So we must be aware of it. Same way, mind. Today I'm feeling cranky. Or no, I'm not able to concentrate. These kind of feelings, have we got it? Yes. So this is just the mental aspect. No, mind is now telling us that we should be able to convert that. We should be able to control it. When will you control? Only when you understand. I used to not understand when I was very young why I'm getting angry. Then when I grew up little bit more, I understood I'm getting angry because I'm hungry. So when food went inside the stomach, anger would disappear. So what is this? This is just one more aspect. Like that, emotions also. Some emotions have to be expressed. Some emotions need not be expressed. That we must understand. So that is three. And the last is that particular key that we saw. Knowledgeable action done with devotion is the key to success in any field. This is important. And the only way you can do something with devotion is when you start enjoying it and you start liking it and you start loving that action. So identify something. And the best part is if you do everything with devotion, no, can help you tremendously. After engineering, I learned gardening from my teacher. He would say, go do gardening. Now somebody would say, what's the use of gardening? But no, with devotion, let's do gardening. Later on, I learned, he said, now you know how to, interact with the plants. Now you can make medicines. I will now teach you how to make medicines from plants. Now, isn't that a wonderful experience which came from somewhere? And that helped me later on, isn't it? Knowledge does not go waste. What you learn in your life, what experiences you get, they will not go waste. So you should do that with devotion. So I think with this, the chapter is complete. Anybody has anything you want to ask or share? We still have 10 more minutes today. We got over a little earlier. We completed our session. Any question, anything you wish to ask compare on in related to this? No? All right. So with this, let us close our eyes. I will not ask that to Dhanur. He's already closed his eyes. Vishwa and Reni, all of us, let us close our eyes for 2 minutes and then we'll complete and conclude. All right. All right. Now, before opening your eyes, let's rub our palms nicely. Yes. All right then. Okay. So see you next week. The sessions are going all right, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fine. If you have any feedback or any queries, you are welcome. Or we conclude. All right then. Bye. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you so
Good
much, sir.
night. Shubh Ratri. See you. See you next.